we go. How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of EastAsiaSoft, welcome to today's stream. Today is Sunday, and as per the usual, I am continuing my playthrough of If My Art Had Wings, out now for the Nintendo Switch. There are still a few copies of the limited edition available to buy through PlayAsia. The standard edition is all gone, and once they're gone forever. So there's less than 100 copies of the limited edition. If you want the chance to own this physically, go over there and get it, because there's not that much time left before they're all gone. I gotta tell you, this is my 11th week now. Hi, Nintendo fan. This is my 11th week now playing through this game, and it's just been so awesome. Last week, we finally took the glider into the Morning Glory. So, oh man, so much to look forward to. Still don't know who this girl is or her twin sister. So my guess is, even though we have essentially put in something like 25 hours into this game, something like that, 15 hours, wow, I cannot do math, that we still have quite a few streams left, and I guess we're about to find out. Let's go ahead and load up this save right here. So as I said, at the end of last stream, after they flew finally into the Morning Glory, Amane had to leave. So, makes me wonder where this story's going to go next. The next day. The first day of the new school term. What were we going to do now that we didn't have enough members? We couldn't ask Tatsuya to help every time we wanted to do a flight, so what should we do about transporting the glider? What should I do about getting my pilot's license? While feeling downhearted and a sense of loss now that Amane had left, we discussed our plans for club on the way to the school. When it came to continuing the activities of the Soaring Club, Kotori, Agea, and I are all of the same opinion. Hi, Panda. Next time, we'll definitely fly there, to the Passage of Clouds. Our dream that we had come so close to, but had not yet achieved. However, it had been there, right at my fingertips. With that sense of reality, the dream was no longer just a dream. Now we all had a clear goal in mind. All three of us had clearly envisioned this in our minds. That was why we didn't have time to feel down. The thing that awaited us was an unbelievable spectacle.
Nani, kore?
Well, there was a signboard outside the garage reading no entry. A wrecking ball had made a hole in the wall and smashed the roof.
Uso. Nande yo?
Kotori and Agea were lost for words at the sight of this horrific spectacle. I stood there, stunned, and desperately tried to think of what could have happened. But there was no way I could comprehend it. The place that, until yesterday, where we would gather and spend time together every day, had suddenly been destroyed. My knees were shaking. I felt like all the strength had left my body, and an intense burn raged inside me. Rage burned inside me. Wow. What the hell is this all about? I approached the person who seemed to be the foreman, but he just looked back at me with a troubled look on his face. Of course, these people had been asked to do this. They were just here to do demolition work. I feel like I know. I have a good idea. I feel like it's Tobioka, asserting his authority. This music is new, by the way. Haven't heard this yet in this VN. But I had no other outlet for my emotions. Why are you doing this?
どうもこうもないだろう。最初からそういう約束だったはずだぞ。
called it. Huh?
タピオカ
Mr. Tobioka just glared at me like I was being unreasonable towards the workers. Meaning, if I had any complaints, I should talk to him about it. Oh, I'll talk to him about it, alright. What is this all about?
さっき言った通りだ。夏休みが終わればソアリング部は廃部。ここは取り壊される予定だった。
We don't see Art of Owly all that often. This is cool.
まだ私たちがいるのに。
部活動と認められるには人数が足りんだろう。今まで多めに見てやってたんだ。もう容赦はせん。
そんなの横暴です。私たちには部活動をする自由が認められてるはずです。
活動したければ勝手にやれ。同好会としてな。
Tobioka, you son of a...
葵
Without thinking, I was about to go nuts, but Ageha stopped me at the last moment.
葵ダメだよ。
She shook her head in frustration.
工事の邪魔はするなよ。もっとも、もう手遅れだろうがな。
With those as his parting words, Mr. Tobioka turned to leave. We stared dumbfounded at the demolition works. Like he said, we were already too late.
やっとやりたいことが見つかったのに。こんなのないよ。あまりよ。
Ageha hardly said anything as she quietly watched the demolition. As for me...
おちょっと葵くん。
I climbed over the no-entry fence and walked into the garage.
ちょっと君、何してるの？危ないよ。
The foreman from before hurriedly rushed over. Sorry, this won't take long. I pushed past him. Then I stepped inside the half-destroyed garage. Panicking, the foreman stopped the machinery.
葵くん。葵。
The inside of the garage was also badly crushed, smashed to smithereens along with all of our memories. Emotionless, I rummaged through it and picked out the things I was looking for. Sorry about that, it's alright now. I lowered my head in a bow of apology to the workers and stepped outside the no-entry boards. Let's go. I really hope the glider wasn't in there. I would assume it wasn't.
それは
These are the designs that Amane drew. She said that she had completed them yesterday.
あまねちゃんの設計図。
Then there was the photo frame from Amane's desk. It was the photo that had stirred us all into action. It's not over yet. I smiled at them with empty bravado, with a smile as bright as the midsummer sun. I can't let it end like this. We will definitely fly again, in our glider. Kotori, looking like she was about to cry, smiled at me. Ageha, who had a defeated expression on her face, smiled once again. A giant thunderhead was floating in the clear blue sky. It is said that such clouds often go beyond the stratosphere, which meant that the updrafts go all the way up there. Our dream wasn't over yet. This was just the beginning. I don't know, this kind of looks like the end credits to me, guys. We don't know who those girls even are. Okay, surely that's not the end. Surely, right? There's no way. Zero way. Absolutely no way that's the end. Right? This is a really nice movie, though. Really nice. There's still so much for us to do. I don't think this is the ending, Alumno. I don't think so. Okay, it says that this is the opening theme, so... Good grief, I hope that that's a false ending. That wouldn't make sense for it to end there. No, I refuse to accept that that's the end. Yeah, look at this, it's continuing. Right? Right? Yeah? I think there's more. I refuse to believe that it ends like that. With the sheer amount of stuff that I know for a fact we haven't done yet, I don't think would require multiple endings, especially since we've basically only had one path this whole time. That being said, I do have a nasty habit of ending my VNs within like 10 minutes of a stream. What's this place?
やっぱりここだったわね。夜ちゃん。
Hey! Okay, it's continuing. It is continuing. These girls haven't worn this uniform yet. I think they're going to be freshmen at Aoi's school. Okay. There is more. Yes, told you. Told you. I don't know who made a bet with me, but they owe me $5.
そろそろ帰らないと夕飯に遅れるわよ。でももうちょっとだけ。待ってても無駄よ。もう現れないわ。え？どうしてわかるの？あれから一度も飛んでないじゃない。滑走路を見に行ってみたけど雑草が生い茂ってて使われてる形跡はなかったわ。でも
I guess girl A wants to fly in the glider.
今日学校で聞いたんだけど。あの人たちうちの学校のスワリング部だったんだって。あのグライダーで飛んでた人たちが？そうよ。うちの学校の部活動だったってわけ。東大元暮らしとはこのことね。ってことは私も頼めば入れてもらえるかもしれないんだ。
Well, that would give them enough members, wouldn't it?
残念でした。スワリング部はとっくに廃部になってたわ。伝説の先輩とやらが引退してそのままね。そうなんだ。飛ばないのはそのせいよ。だからもうここで待ってても意味ないの。さあ帰りましょう。私お腹が空いちゃった。そっか。もう飛ばないんだ。
A sky so blue, it almost hurts the eyes, and a towering thunderhead. The cicadas singing their hearts out, the lush vegetation growing bathed in the sunlight. Summer had come again. Is this a full year later? By the way, I'm saving. Safety save. Look, they wouldn't give us this many pages to save stuff in if there wasn't more to the story than what we just saw. Let's just go with that. It's so hot, I complained while hanging the sheets on the clothesline. In this heat, they should be dry by lunchtime. Is he still the mother? He's still the mother of the house. As I spoke, I gazed at the distant thunderhead. It is said that thunderheads, or giant cumulonimbus clouds, that can extend upwards into the stratosphere. The world record for highest flight of a glider also went beyond the stratosphere. They both seemed hard to believe at first. As I took the sheets out of the wash basket, I heard a voice from behind. It was Ageha. I'll be with you in a moment. Can you wait inside? They're dying of the heat too, huh?
おはようござい。あ、どうしたの皆さんお揃いで。なんだ。
Oh, it's only Ageha. Okay. Well, how disappointing.
ドキドキしたよ。
Did she say okie dokie?
なになんでがっかりしてんの？
ついに来るのよ。
何が？
Brand new air conditioning unit.
新しい冷蔵庫が。
I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong.
よく頑張ってくれたわ、水瀬くん。
私たちもう無理だと思ってたもの。もう狭いスペースを奪い合ってジュースを冷やす必要もなくなるんですね。はあ。うちの冷蔵庫、年号が昭和の時代から使われてる全盛期の遺物だったからね。
もうずっと調子悪くて気がつくと電源が切れてるなんてことしょっちゅう。
でもこれで高いアイスを溶かしてしまう痛ましい事故もなくなるのよ。
You know, to be fair, Alumno, I also got a false ending about 3 or 4 hours into the game. When Kotori first joined the Soaring Club, they played a theme song there too. It was not that song, and there was no animatic, but there was a false ending there too. So I'm wondering if this game is just full of false endings, or if those are like chapter breaks, you know? Like you know how in anime, there are, like, in what we would get as a season here in the West, it's broken up into, like, different sections over there in Japan. So I'm wondering if that's something like what's going on now. Like, each section is broken up by a different animatic. I'm wondering if that's what's happening here. A different false ending. In which case, I will never trust another ending ever. As long as I play this game. No, it wasn't a proper ending. It was just like this. It was just like this one where, like, it played and then the game continued. Also, for what it's worth, for the vast majority of this game, there's only been one available option, maybe two, and all the other options have been grayed out anytime we've had options. So, from what I have read, I did read ahead, but I avoided spoilers as much as I could. The game really encourages you to go the Kotori path first until the proper game over. Then you can go back and do whichever endings you want. You can choose to not go Kotori, but that gives you the neutral ending, which is ridiculously anticlimactic. And come on, she's a girl in a wheelchair. Of course I'm going to pick her. So I've been picking the Kotori path for the entirety of my playthrough, which probably means when we get to the point where the game would otherwise give the neutral ending, we're probably going to have another stream or two looking at Kotori's path at the very end. in any case, once we reach that ending, then you'll be able to replay the game and pick any other path that you want. But right now, I'm going with Kotori because I'm a nice guy.
この間小鳥ちゃんのハーゲンダッチ全滅しちゃったんだよね。
Aw, that's the real tragedy right there. Oh man. I gotta mention, by the way, I've had Hagen Dutch. Turns out it's a real ice cream, or at least a pun on a real ice cream. Like it's a real thing. I've had it. Oh man. It actually is really good ice cream.
それは悲劇ね。
Yeah, exactly, Illumno. Yeah. I'm not going to be playing through every ending. I'm just playing through the Kotori route until the game ends, and that's where I'm going to end this series. So yeah. But I am at least going the Kotori route instead of the neutral route, so adding an extra stream or two, maybe. The food won't be spoiled anymore, and the electricity bill will be cheaper. And it won't be a problem for the owner either. I finished hanging up the laundry, and after joining everyone, I explained.
でもなかなか OK 出なかったんでしょ?
Yeah, well, I was the one who approached the owner about it, but it wasn't exactly a smooth process to get to this point. The owner herself was okay with it, but her sons, who wanted to get rid of this place, were against the new fridge. I persistently pursued the negotiations and finally won out.
水瀬くんのおかげだよ。
そうそう寮母さん偉い。
Nah, not really.
おばあちゃん言ってたよ。葵くんはよくやってくれてるって。
When she said old lady, she meant the owner.
そのおかげだと思うよ。
Then the doorbell rang. All the boarders were getting excited.
失礼します。
Yeah, look at what the first step is admitting you have a problem, ladies. Yes, that's it, Illumno. Yes, Hagen Dot. Yeah. The guy from the electrical store came straight in, and when he saw all the girls standing there, plus one boy, he said, "Whoa."
冷蔵庫お届けに上がりました。
Please install it over here. Could you also take away the old one? The new fridge was being installed in the dining hall, and the old one was going to be taken away for recycling. I signed the receipt, then I'll leave the rest to you.
はいよ。
Yeah, exactly, Lumno. I let Kaneko take care of it, and then I left the dormitory.
葵、電車乗り遅れちゃうよ。
Okay, sorry.
いいな。私も行きたかった。
Kotori grumbled.
会長の私がお留守番なんて。しょうがないじゃん。今日は小鳥、あんちゃんとこの手伝いがあるんだから。分かってるわよ。
It had been a year since the Soaring Club had lost its status. Then, summer had come around again.
急がないとね。私らの計画。
Yeah. Our club status hadn't been renewed, so we still weren't officially recognized as a club. Under the supervision of Mr. Tobioka, it had become effectively impossible to carry out our club activities in the school grounds. Just now, Kotori had patronizingly referred to herself as club leader, but she was the second in charge before, so as a matter of course, she inherited the title. Anyway, as we were not an official club, she was just the leader. It looked like Kotori had really taken a liking to that title. It was weird, but leader sounded a lot more high and mighty than club leader. That was kind of beside the point, but we didn't have a clubhouse or a glider. But there were things that we could do. One of those was have part-time jobs. Even after the owner got better, I carried on doing the work of the dorm mother. My mom paid me for the work, and I used that money for my living expenses. Ageha and Kotori were working at Tatsuya's factory. They didn't receive wages, but they got paid in glider materials. Oh, does that mean that the glider was in there? Now we gotta build a new one? But they got Amane's blueprints. They've made it work. They've actually made it work. Factories got those materials at a lower cost, and they chose good quality materials, which was a big help. We had a plan coming up that required the use of large amounts of FRP and so on. Ageha and I were now heading to the location where another one of our club revival activities took place. It was a runway about 2 hours away by train. I went there often to attend glider flight training. A few days prior, I had finally managed to get the pilot's license that I'd wanted for so long. It was pretty hard work, but with this, I could fly a glider by myself. Ageha had been coming with me when she had spare time to get familiar with the aircraft and help me with the maintenance. Kotori came too, but she only came to watch. She could go for a flight with a local pilot, but she stubbornly refused. It's okay. I'll fly with Aoi. It seems she still remembered the promise I made to her before. Of course, I secretly still remembered it too. We had a goal. Oh, Kotori never flew in the glider? Oh man, she never got to fly in it. So that means she's insisting that her first time flying in the air will be with Aoi. Okay. We had a goal. To complete an aircraft according to the designs that Amane had left behind. Then, to fly that glider over the morning glory clouds. We didn't know if it would come or not. It came last year, so it was more natural to think that it wouldn't come again this year too. But... that's why we need to make all the necessary preparations. I looked up to see a sky so blue it almost hurt my eyes, and a towering thunderhead. That sky looked impossibly high, stretching endlessly upwards. The real summer was beginning. And now they have a fridge! What's this? A transition card without the extend the little wings that fly lightly? Whatever it was. No text, is my point. A strong wind blew against the classroom windows. It hadn't started raining yet, but a storm sure was approaching. According to the weather forecast, a typhoon would be passing through Kazagora at about 10 o'clock that night.
超大型の台風だそうだ。すでに西の方じゃ暴風雨の被害が出ている。というわけで、午後からは休校。寄り道せずにまっすぐ帰れよ。
Everyone eagerly responded to the teacher. To be honest, everyone was more excited about getting let out from school early. Oh yeah, you're right.
あんたね、子供じゃないんだから台風ぐらいではしゃぐんじゃないの。ほっといてよ。じいわき、肉踊るじゃない。
Kotori turned to me for approval. Well, it is pretty exciting. Ageha, in the past, whenever a typhoon came, you would get scolded for wanting to play outside. You'd hold out your raincoat and jump around, pretending to be a flying squirrel, remember? Whoops. We good?
I hit
the auto button by accident. How do I turn that off? There we go. Okay. All good. I figured out how to turn off the auto.
へえ、アゲハってそんな子だったんだ。昔はよ。今はもう大人ですから。
I don't know about that.
何よ。
Yeah, whatever. Let's get out of here. We need to get back and fix up the old dormitory.
今度こそ飛ばされちゃうかもね。
Being hit by frequent typhoons, Flying Fish Manor had suffered a great deal of damage in the past. Part of the roof was blown off, the walls were peeling, the shutters were broken, the place was on the verge of collapse.
私も手伝いに行くよ。いつもお世話になってるしね。
Thanks, that would be a big help. Pardon me. Since the new school year, we were all in the same class again. I didn't know if someone had thought to put us together or if it was just a coincidence. But I was honestly happy to be able to take classes with them. It really did help keep things from getting boring. We were waiting in the hallway for the elevator.
そこの皆さん。
A voice called out from behind. Oh, hello, Akari. It was Akari Kumoi, who was now president of the student council. She had been appointed as the new president a few days ago. Can we help you?
ええ、少し聞きたいことがあるの。あなた方、ソアリング同好会の皆さんに。
Hearing her say it like that made me flinch on the inside.
何かしら？
Kotori moved forward as our representative. There was no club anymore, but we still looked to her as our leader. Face to face with the president of the student council, she still held her resolve.
ここじゃなんだから、生徒会室までご同行願えないかしら。
She was staring in a mildly threatening way. Not good. She'll find out for sure.
どうしよう。
We had a little secret that we didn't want the student council president to find out about.
それは今じゃないといけないのかしら。外は台風だし、先生から寄り道せずに帰るよう言われたばかりなの。
Nice comeback, Kotori.
時間は取らせないわ。軽い質問にイエスかノーで答えてもらうだけでいいの。
Kotori groaned at the president's "you know what this is about" attitude. But just in the nick of time, we were saved by the arrival of the elevator. I immediately pushed Kotori in her wheelchair through the open doors. Sorry, President, but we're in a hurry, so we'll see you next time.
こら、待ちなさい。
If we don't hurry back, our old dormitory will fall to pieces. That part actually wasn't a lie. With that, I defiantly pushed the closed door button in the elevator.
明日、生徒会室に出頭するように。いいわね。
Akari's voice chased us through the gap in the closing doors. Oh, that's a storm. That's definitely a storm. Kotori picked some grass and threw it in the air. It quickly danced off as it was blown away in the wind. Oh, hello, Hattie.
ダメよ、ハット。外に出ちゃう。あんた太ってるけどチビだからきっと飛ばされちゃうわ。
Hey, you! Stop playing and come help. We had come back in a hurry and got everyone together for repairs. The wind had picked up speed since we left the school and was now howling at the dormitory.
ねえ、さっきのあかりさんの話ってやっぱりあれかな。
Agaya seemed worried as she asked. Perhaps that's what it looked like.
どうするの？どうするもこうするもしらばっくれるしかないでしょ。
Kotori spoke quietly as she rubbed the top of her head.
だよね。
We had a secret. We'd be in big trouble if the straight-laced student council president found out about it.
もしバレても 堂々としてりゃいいのよ。あんたのその根拠のない自信が羨ましいわ。そんなことよりさ、台風の日って燃えるよね。血湧き、肉踊るよね。
I apologize for yawning so much, guys. I don't know why I'm so tired right now. Kotori held up both hands in the air in sheer excitement. I'm more worried that this old dormitory might get blown away. I tossed some of the repair materials down on Kotori's lap with a thud. Take these to Yuka and the others.
はーい、行くわよ、ハット。わー。
Kotori didn't complain and headed off to the other boarders. She'd really changed a lot in the last year. When I had first arrived, she hardly spoke to the others at all, but now she seemed right at home. She might have been just making things worse for herself back then, but perhaps now we were seeing the real Kotori. All of the other boarders were such nice people. As soon as Kotori started being herself, they accepted her. Flying Fish Manor had been so peaceful recently. Well then, I'm all done here. Just as I was about to start on the next task, my cell phone rang. I took it out, and on the display it said, Mom. Hello?
もしもし、葵？私だけど、
What's up?
台風来てるでしょ。大丈夫かなと思って。
Don't worry, everyone's helping me work on the repairs.
さあ、助かるわ。あんたが働き者で。
If that's how you feel, why don't you bump up my wages?
考えとくわ。
She just left it at that.
ところで葵、相談があるんだけど。
Discuss? What's that? Judging from her tone, I had a feeling that it was something bad.
明日から新しい寮生が入るから。
What? Agea, who was next to me, surprised me by shouting in a loud voice.
というわけだからよろしくね。
It's the twins, isn't it? It's gotta be the twins. Wait, Mom, can't we talk about this? She already decided. You can't just say that all of a sudden.
急な話だったんだからしょうがないでしょ。部屋はあるんだから問題ないはずよ。
There aren't any we can use right now, though.
あったでしょ。2階の2人部屋。
That's... I was starting to panic.
明日からだから頼んだわよ。
Wait! She hung up. If I called back, she'd probably choose not to answer it.
どうしたの？
Agea asked anxiously while looking up at my stunned face from below. New boarders are coming tomorrow. She told me to use the double room on the second floor, but...
ああ、そりゃまずいわね。
We have to move that thing by tomorrow. However, there was a storm outside. This was not going to go well. What are they hiding? Large raindrops struck the window. The real storm would be here soon.
葵くん、2階の雨漏りする部屋どうしよう。
There's a blue tarp in the storeroom. Spread that out across it.
裏庭の水路の水がもう溢れそうになってるんだけど。
Just leave it.
ねえねえ、私の部屋の窓が飛んでっちゃったんだけど。
What? Are the shutters okay?
一応かろうじて。
Alright, close the shutters and secure them from the inside.
あよ。
How did this building last so long? There had been a lot of typhoons this year, and this was the third one to hit Kazugara so far. The first two caused extensive damage, and this one was coming just as we were finishing repairs from the first two. Having to make repairs so frantically like this, I could almost see why the owner's sons wanted to get rid of this place. No, what am I thinking? I will protect Flying Fish Manor, no matter what! Shouting to no one in particular, I went to repair the window in Kaneko's room. It's the twins.
留守かな。風の音がうるさくて聞こえてないんじゃない？入っちゃいましょうよ。でもここにいるとずぶ濡れになっちゃうでしょ。そうだね。ごめんください。やっぱり留守なんじゃ。すみません、誰かいませんか？
Hey, this isn't just a small leak.
あの
Get a bucket for now. We'll have to keep watch over it at night.
すみません。聞こえてないわね。姉さん、もっと大きな声を出さないと。ごめんください。
Hi. Bye. That's pretty much exactly what happened. Just Kaneko comes in, sees them, and just walks
無
away.
視されたわね。
That's so classic Kaneko, though. Wow. There should be a big bucket here.
葵くん、葵く
What is it? I'm kind of busy right now.
ん、なんかお客さん来てるみたいよ。
Huh? Visitors? In the middle of a storm like this? Who could it be?
ごめんください。どなたかいらっしゃいませんか？
Hey,
本当に誰かいませんか？
she learned to raise her voice.
それにしてもボロっちいわね。夜が明けたら跡形もなくなってるんじゃないの？ごめんください。誰か出てきてください。
Huh? I went to the entrance with Kaneko, and a girl was there. Actually, two girls. Or rather, twins? They looked exactly the same. One of the girls noticed me. She had tears in her eyes and was whispering something to the other girl.
どうしよう。知らない人だ。当たり前でしょ、姉さん。
May I ask who you might be?
どうしよう、夜ちゃん。
They seemed surprised that a boy would be in a girl's dormitory and stood there sheepishly, unable to say anything. Having said that, they did seem familiar. Huh? I felt like I had seen their faces somewhere before. Have I seen you somewhere?
何ですか？人の顔チロチロ見ないでくれます？
Oh, sorry.
そんなに珍しい顔してますか？
I feel like we've met before. I remember! One of the girls jumped at my voice. Let's just call her Girl A for now. You're the curry girl!
カレー少女？
It was a while ago, but she was the girl at the supermarket buying high-grade marbled beef as an ingredient for curry.
何？知り合いなの？
It seems that I have seen her before, but maybe she doesn't remember me. But why was the curry girl here? And she had a twin, too. Was the girl at that time Girl A or Girl B?
ねえ、あなたたちトビウオソウに何かご用？
Kaneko stepped forward and kindly asked them. I'd have to thank her later.
また知らない人だ。
Oh, this poor girl.
そりゃ寮だからたくさん人はいるわよ。誰かに会いに来たのかな？私たち今日から ることになってます。
Girl B jumped in to finish what Girl A was desperately trying to say. Did I just hear that right? What did you just say?
ですから、ここに住むんだってさ。
Kaneko spoke as if it was completely normal. What? Girl A jumped again at my loud voice.
風と朝です。風と夜よ。
Asa Yoru. Okay. I gathered all the boarders in the dining hall and got the two girls to introduce themselves. It seemed that Asa, the timid one, was the older sister, and Yoru, the blunt one, was the younger sister.
朝と夜。面白いわね。
Okay, I thought that was familiar. Kotori seemed really impressed.
車椅子の人だ。あの子、なんだかバカっぽいわね。
Oh,
風
that's
戸
mean.
さんってもしかして噂の天才姉妹じゃないの？
Genius twins? What are you talking about?
ほら、今年の春頃話題になったでしょ？すごい天才が入学してきたって。おまけに双子で美少女姉妹。
それは。
Now that you mention it, there was a rumor about that. The guys in our class have been making a big fuss about it. Not just because they were geniuses, but because they were beautiful twin girls.
ほほう、天才とな。それはどのくらい？
なんか入試はダントツのトップで、その後の授業でも天才ぶりを遺憾なく発揮し、一説ではあの望月天音を超える逸材とかなんとか。飛岡先生が早速ロボット部にスカウトしたらしいわよ。断られたようだけど。
この子たちがあまねちゃんよりも天才ですって？
Kochari's eyes seemed to turn nasty as she looked at the two girls. I wondered what she was thinking.
ねえ、そうなの？違います。それは私じゃなくて、ヨルちゃんだけです。
Asa, the older one, took a step back, trying to pass the attention to her sister. Everyone looked at Yoru with curiosity. But
どうでもいいでしょ、そんなこと。
she spoke as if she found this whole thing rather troublesome.
ヨルちゃんはすごいんです。きっと本当に天才です。この子がね。言っておくけどね、あまねちゃんはすごかったのよ。食いしん坊のくせにお腹空いてるの忘れちゃうくらい集中しちゃうんだから。それはただのおまぬけさんじゃ。なんですって。
Throwing some shade around on your very first day. Great way to make friends and influence people. Alright, it doesn't matter, just be quiet. I tried to calm Kochari down, who was getting more and more angry. If I just let her say whatever she wanted, she'd probably make Amane sound even more like a weirdo.
それより、私たちには自己紹介させて、そちらはないんですか
？Yes, you're right. We went off on a bit of a pointless tangent there. Everyone pulled themselves together and introduced themselves one by one. Asa listened enthusiastically, whereas Yoru sounded like she didn't care at all. Agea wasn't a boarder, but she introduced herself too. She often came over, so it was best that they knew who she was. Then, it was my turn. I'm Aoi Minase, the house mother. Sorry if I scared you just now.
いえ、とんでもないです。ここ、女子寮じゃないんですか？
Yeah. Well, for various reasons, I'm working as the house mother.
女子寮の寮母を男性が。それもこんな若い人がするなんて。
Mwah! Good night, everybody. She appeared to be looking at me with suspicion.
葵くんなら大丈夫だよ。女の子に興味ないから。
What?
そうよね。これだけ女子に囲まれて生活してるのに彼女ができたこともないし。
かなちゃんが下着姿で歩いてると怒るくらいだもんね。きっと女嫌いなんじゃないかな。
Hold on a minute! Why are we talking about this?
じゃああるの？
Of course! I'm interested in girls! Smooth. Real smooth.
葵、この子たち完全に引いちゃってるよ。
You've got it all wrong. I'm interested in girls in a perfectly normal, healthy way. I wouldn't do anything inappropriate.
やっぱり他の寮にした方がいいんじゃない姉さん。
The more I spoke, the deeper I dug myself into a hole. Then, as if sensing my predicament, a duck came waddling into the dining hall.
アヒル？
At that moment, the twins turned their attention to Hattie.
ちょうどいいところに来たわね、ハット。あんたも自己紹介しときなさい。
わわ。やるちゃん、この子ちゃんと自己紹介したよ。かわいい。コールダックね。この寮ってペット可なんですか？
Well, actually not, but...
ハット先輩はペットじゃないの。この寮に住み着いてるだけだから。
Oh, they look so identical in this picture, wow.
いわば同居人ってわけ。
The twins looked like they didn't really understand. He was cute though, so they just kind of accepted it. But why did you come today? I heard you were coming tomorrow.
それは
Asa was acting nervously.
一人暮らしできると思ったらいても立ってもいられなくて。不動産屋からは部屋は今すぐ使えるって聞いたわ。
Oh. Kota the Yage and I had troubled looks on our faces, and the other boarders looked kind of awkward. Right now, due to the typhoon, there are leaks and some other kind of problems.
見た目だけじゃなく中身もボロなのね。姉さん、やっぱり他の物件を探そうよ。でもすぐ入れる部屋は他にないっておじいちゃん言ってたし。じゃあ家に帰りましょう。それは嫌。
Asa said suddenly. She seemed to have strong feelings about it. So, why are you looking for a dormitory this time of year anyway? It was early July. People didn't normally move into dormitories this time of year.
姉さんが急に家を出たいって言い出して、それで部屋を探してもらったのよ。最初は学校にできた新しい寮に入るはずだったんですけど、部屋が空いてなくて。
Oh, that dormitory. Kota the Yage and I all had grim expressions on our faces. This year, Keifu Academy had built a new student dormitory. It was built at the back of the school, right where the Soaring Club's garage had been. The truth was that the school had been planning to build a dormitory for a while, and the garage had been in the way. That was why a group of teachers, starting with Mr. Tobioka, had wanted to have the Soaring Club status repealed. The existence of the new student dormitory had also affected Flying Fish Manor, too. While the land to build the new dormitory was being decided on, the school had relied on small dorms like Flying Fish Manor. However, since the new dormitory had been built, the school seemed to want to end its agreement with Flying Fish Manor. The school seemed to worry that since it was an external dormitory, it was hard to keep a close eye on what went on there. However, since the owner ran the dorm as a hobby, the rent was cheap. That was partly why Yuka and the others continued to live here, even though the new dormitory had been built. All things considered, everyone had mixed feelings about the new student dormitory.
それでおじいちゃんの昔の知り合いに相談してここを紹介してもらったのよ。
So does that mean that my mother and your grandfather know each other? Maybe that was the reason my mother had suddenly told me that they would be coming tomorrow.
ええ、何でもすごく頼りになる方だと言ってました。
Did he?
うちのおじいちゃん、慶風学園の理事だから。
I see. Huh, what?
ヨルちゃん、そういうことは。いいのよ、先に言っておいた方が後からバレるより。
Your grandfather is on the board?
正確には理事長ね。
Murmur, murmur. Everyone began to murmur as they heard this piece of information.
というわけだから部屋を見せてもらえないかしら。
That's...
すぐに入居できるんでしょ。
There's a really bad leak. Also, we thought you were arriving tomorrow, so it hasn't been cleaned yet.
すみません、急に来ちゃって。いいわ、とりあえず見せてもらいましょう。状況を見て一度帰るかどうか考えるから。
No, but,
怪しい態度。何か隠してます？
Yes. Gulp. This girl was smart.
行こう、姉さん。
The twins ignored my protests and headed towards the room. My mom must have told them which room it was.
やばいよ葵、なんとかして引き止めないと。あの態度の悪い方、ムカつくわね。相手は理事長の孫だよ。見つかったらやばいって。
You're right. But I couldn't think of any way to stop them. Anyway, I'll be back.
なんだかカビ臭くない？ちょっとだけ。でもきっと雨が降ってるからだよ。そうかしら。古いせいだと思うけど。それに台風でギシギシいってる。壊れちゃうんじゃない？そうかも。やっぱりやめようよ、こんなところ。うちの方がご飯も美味しいし、おじいちゃんだって。あ、この部屋だ。あれ？何これ。なんだろう、これ。これもしかして。
As I reached the second floor, the two of them were standing there, staring blankly at the glider inside. We just got this here temporarily.
雨漏りなんてしてないじゃない。
Oh, you're right. It looks like someone fixed it, I guess.
これを隠すために嘘をついていたのね。
Yeah. It's like you say. I quickly owned up to it. It seemed like there was no use lying to this girl.
でもどうしてこんなものがこんな場所にあるの？だってこれグライダーですよね。
So, you know what it is. I forgot the situation for a moment and answered their question. I was impressed they knew what it was. Not everyone knows much about gliders, and not many people have actually seen one. Not only that, but this one was dismantled.
だって私これもしかして学校から盗まれたやつじゃ。
Huh?
葵くん大丈夫かしら。
さあどうだろう。今更ながら良かったのかな、あんなことしちゃって。
しょうがないじゃない。ああでもしなきゃ博物館行きだったんだから。
Oh, it is Amane's. Okay, they
そし
saved
たら
it.
もう二度と取り返せなかったかもしれないのよ。あのグライダーは私たちがアマネちゃんから受け継いだものなのに。
だよね。
ねえ、どうなの？
Yori seemed to find my attitude unusual. She seemed determined to find out the truth. When the Soaring Club was shut down and the garage was demolished, the truth was that the glider had no longer been inside. It had been moved to another place. After that, at the school's instruction, it had been kept in a storeroom. We had wanted to get it back, but since we couldn't fly it and we didn't have anywhere to put it, we let the school take care of it. Then, a few days ago, we heard some surprising news from certain sources. The school was trying to donate the glider to the city museum. The glider had been made by the old members of the Soaring Club. An original aircraft like this was extremely rare in Japan. It seemed to be something of value to a museum. But to the school, it was seen as a waste of storage space, and that they wanted to dispose of it. If it had gone to a museum, we would never be able to get it back. As an extreme measure, we decided to take it away in secret. And that was the reason why it was here now. Yes, that is correct. If I lied, I'd soon be found out. I had no choice but to tell the truth.
呆れた。こんなところに隠していたなんて。そのせいで私たちを寮に住まわせない気でいたの？
No, I heard you were coming tomorrow, and I was planning on moving it somewhere before then.
どうだか。
Unfortunately, we were still in the middle of a huge typhoon. The only other place to store a big glider like this would have been in the lobby. However, given the circumstances, we wouldn't want to leave it anywhere so conspicuous. Please, you must keep this a secret. I put both hands together like I was praying.
私たちが理事長の孫だってさっき話したわよね。どうして私たちがあんたたちのために祖父を裏切るような真似。ここがいい。
Huh?
姉さん？
Asa seemed like she was full of determination as she made her statement.
私ここがいいの、ヨルちゃん。聞いてなかったの、姉さん。ここにあるこれは学校から盗み出されたもので。それでもね、ここがいいの。ごめんなさい。
Asa begged her sister Yoru, who seemed to be both scolding her, yet astonished by her at the same time.
あのね、姉さん。そもそもこんなのあったら寝る場所もないじゃない。大丈夫。こうやって。
Asa laid her petite body in the gap between the fuselage and the main wings that were leaning against the wall.
私は嫌よ。でも、今日はここに泊まっちゃわないと。
The whole building shook and rattled as it was battered by strong winds.
外は台風だよ。かといってここが安全ともあまり思えないけど、なんだか不衛生そうだし。
If they went home, the word would be out that our glider was here. So, as of today, the two of you are our friends. Let's all get along together. I looked around at everyone and started to clap. They all looked at me dubiously and gave a round of applause.
葵くん、顔が引きつってる。
こりゃバレたわね。
しくお願いします。適当によろしくね。
態度悪いのゆかさん、あの子超態度悪いわよ。新人教育も兼ねてここはビシッと。
Kotori made a real fuss about it, but no one else seemed too bothered.
私らもう慣れてるし。慣れてるの？なんで？
Everyone gave her a sideways glance.
ぶっちゃけ小鳥ちゃんはこの10倍くらい態度悪かったもんね。ちゃんと自己紹介してよろしくねっていうだけマシだよね。
Kotori looked at Age and me as if she was looking for backup. Same here.
左に同じ。
She was surrounded on all sides.
何よ、みんなして。私こんなに態度悪くなかったもん。でも部屋はどうするの？だってあの部屋。
Yuka trailed off. We had an unspoken agreement with the other boarders about hiding the glider. They appreciated the effort I went to getting the new fridge, so they had turned a blind eye to the whole glider incident. It was easier if they just pretended not to know about it. We'll find another place to store it as quickly as possible. Until then, you two can use my room. Everyone made a face as if to say, "Is that okay?" I don't have many things, so I can easily clear a space, so you can sleep anywhere you like.
じゃあ私の部屋に来ればいいよ。一緒に寝よう。
ちょっとカナ、何バカなこと言ってんの？そんなことさせられるわけないでしょ。
あら、どうして？
それはアギャ、ほら言ってやって。
そこで私に振るのかよ。そりゃああれじゃないっすか。葵がもし不祥事なんぞ起こしたら寮母を辞めなくちゃいけなくなっちゃうんで。
Oh, come on. He was just invited to sleep in a girl's room for the night. What's the big deal?
そうそう、それよ。
What could possibly happen, guys? Seriously. Everyone murmured in agreement with Ageha. So, looks like that idea is out. Still, something needed to be decided. Aza spoke nervously.
私、グライダーがある部屋でも別に構わないですよ。
But there's nowhere to lay a futon.
平気です。そのくらい覚悟の上ですから。
Everyone looked at her a bit strangely. Wait. That's right. Her eyes had lit up when she had been looking at the glider just now. Did she have some sort of emotional attachment to it? She might have been some sort of airplane nerd.
私は嫌よ。あんな狭苦しいところで寝たら窒息しちゃう。ヨルちゃん。嫌だったら嫌。絶対に嫌。
Well, you would be okay with using my room, right?
はい。
For some reason, Aza seemed reluctant as she nodded. So that's that, everyone. It's just for a little while, so I'll appreciate your cooperation. This is my room.
お邪魔します。へえ。ヨルちゃん、男の人の部屋だよ。そうね。
The two of them looked nervously around my room.
漫画がこんなにいっぱい。やっぱり男の人って漫画が好きなんですね。
Actually, Age had just left them here after reading them, so they weren't even mine.
お菓子の食べかすが落ちてる。
And that was because Age and Kotori had been eating in here. Since the garage had been demolished, my room had become our meeting place. Because of this, there were things in my room that had nothing to do with me. Sorry, I'll tidy that up soon. I cleared away the trash and put any extra stuff out in the hallway. The twins just stood there idly waiting while I worked. Kotori Hageha, treating my room like their own personal storage. After coming and going several times, I saw Asa holding the photo that was on my desk.
この写真。
I peered over the heads of the two sisters who were looking at the photo. They were quite short, so I could easily see the photo over their heads. Oh, that photo. Oh, look at that! Look at that photo! Oh, that's beautiful! The glider was sitting on the runway, which was overgrown with weeds. The blue sky stretched out in all directions. The shining white clouds bathed in the sunlight. And at the front was our group, sitting together. It was taken on the day that I had come back from the last test flight with Amane. It was a commemorative photo. This is a glider you saw just now. That's what it looks like when it's all put together. Both of them, especially Asa, looked enthusiastically at the photograph.
いつ撮影したものなんですか?
Around the end of last year's summer holiday, we flew the glider at dawn. Strange clouds called morning glory appear, and that's what we were aiming for.
じゃあ、あの時飛んでたのって。でも失敗したんでしょ?
How do you know?
さあ、小鳥さんとアゲハさん、葵さんですよね。
She pointed to the faces in the photo one by one.
こちらの綺麗な方は?
She pointed to the oldest person in the photo, who was standing there with a carefree smile on her face. That's Amane Mochizuki. She was known as the super repeat student. She graduated now, though.
あ、さっき小鳥さんが言ってた人ですね。
Yes, that's her. The genius who's so smart that she forgets that she's hungry. I laughed at how strange it was.
伝説の先輩。
Legendary? Well, maybe that's true. Maybe the students of Keifu Academy would continue to tell the story of Amane Mochizuki for a long time to come. Just like an urban legend. I felt feelings of nostalgia wash over me as I looked at the photo. The twins looked at me curiously. The club has since lost its status, but originally we were the members of the Soaring Club. This photo was the last picture taken from our club's activities.
もう活動はしないんですか?
Well, we're still kind of continuing them. We had gone completely underground. We weren't recognized by the school, and we carried out our activities in secret without the school's knowledge. Asa, are you interested in gliders?
いえ、私はそんな。
Her face was bright red as she looked down.
姉さんは空を飛ぶものに興味があるの。昔からね。
I see. We're planning to fly again soon, so you can come and watch if you like. Asa's big round eyes sparkled as she nodded happily. The sun went down and the mother of all storms blew outside. We were stuck inside and couldn't do any more repairs outside. All we could do was pray that the old dormitory could withstand it and wait for the typhoon to pass. Hey, that girl Asa seems to be interested in gliders.
へえ、そうなんだ。
I was telling Ageha, who was helping me make dinner, about the twins. It looked like Ageha wouldn't be able to go home tonight. She'd probably be staying in Kotori's room. I asked her if she'd like to come and see us fly next time. She seemed pretty interested. That's great, isn't it?
それでさっきから鼻の下伸ばしてたんだ。かわいいもんね。
No, I don't mean like that.
そういうのロリコンって言うんでしょ？
Kotari, who had been quietly chopping the vegetables, joined the conversation. What the hell do you mean? Oh. Okay, thank goodness I hit that button by accident. Okay, we're good, we're good. What were they going on about?
葵くん、ああいう子がいいんだ。
葵って面倒見がいいから手がかかる子に弱いんだよね。
Mwah. Good night, everybody. Agea looked at Kotari from the side as she said this. Kotari didn't notice, but kept mumbling to herself as she topped up the cabbage. We couldn't go grocery shopping that night, so we were making okonomiyaki, I guess, from the food we had left over. Oh boy. We were making that, okay? Anyway, could you guys take back all the manga and other things that you left in my room? If you don't, I'm going to throw them out.
へえ、あれは貸したんじゃん。ちゃんと読んでよ。マジで面白いんだって。そんでもって熱く語り合おうよ。
Okay, if I have time.
ねえ、ロリコンって具体的に何歳差からを言うの？
Forget about that! Just chop the vegetables, will ya? Don't look that up. If you don't know what that is, don't look that up. The raging storm shook Flying Fish Manor.
ねえ、本当にここに住むつもりなの？
だって
グライダーがあったから？
運命だよきっと。ヨルちゃんもそう思うでしょ？
運命なんてナンセンスよ。姉さんって本当にロマンチストよね。
じゃあいいもん。私のセンスがヨルちゃんに一生理解されなくたってそれでいいもん。ロマンチ。
はいはい、どうせ私は女の子っぽくないですよーだ。
それにさ、なんだかいいなと思っちゃった。
何が？
空を目指してみんな幸せそうに笑ってたから。
That is a beautiful photo. Okay, maybe this is how you're supposed to say it. Don't worry, everyone here is helping me work on the repairs.
すごい風だね。
I wonder if that's just a misplaced text.
寝てる間に建物がぺしゃんこに倒壊しちゃうかもね。
That was just, yeah, that was a misplaced text. All good.
ヨルちゃん、一緒に寝よう。
Good night, everybody.
どうしよってね。
Oh, okay, I was just joking.
ヨルちゃん。
Please tell me I was just joking. I'm just, extend the little wing splitch, fly in the sky highly. The next day, the typhoon had passed and a blue sky spread over Kazagora.
というわけなので、よろしくお願いします、会長。
Please.
しまーす。
Standing behind Kotari, we bowed our heads. This is the classroom for the fourth-year students. Yesterday, we were ordered to go to the student council room, so we decided to take the initiative and go to Akari's classroom. We stated the matter frankly. We were making an application for the revival of the Soaring Club. It was a negotiation to restore the Soaring Club, which had lost its status last year.
その件はすでに却下されたはずですよ、ハバネ小鳥さん。それは前の生徒会の話でしょ？ あなたなら違う考えをお持ちなんじゃないかって思ったんだけど。
Even though we weren't a club anymore, we still looked to Kotori as our leader, and she still had a lot to do. For a year, she had been negotiating with the student council for the club's revival. However, the previous head of the council didn't even try because Mr. Tobioka wouldn't accept it. That was a typical example of someone who was afraid to rock the boat. The previous student council was dissolved and Akari was voted in as the head of the new student council. We thought that she might listen to what we had to say, so Kotori started negotiating again. Akari was deep in thought as she stared at the application for the revival of the club. We watched her nervously. If we weren't recognized as a club officially, there were few circumstances that could cause trouble for us. First was the issue of the ownership of the glider. That was the property of the Soaring Club, so if it became a club again, it would officially be under our ownership. It was built using the club funds, which is why it was taken away by the school, along with the club's status. However, the truth was that more than half of the funding for the glider came from Amane's own pocket. There was also the issue of club funding. Currently, we were facing a serious shortage of funds. For the parts and materials, we could help out at Tatsuya's place, but transportation fees and flight training were getting costly. Our intention was to use club funds to help cover these costs. Another thing was that we couldn't use the school facilities. We would never get permission to use school equipment to make glider parts. Normally, anyone could use school equipment freely, but we knew Mr. Tobioka would be watching us carefully. The final issue was that we didn't have a place to conduct club activities. As a result, we had to occupy the room used by the Kazuto sisters. We couldn't continue to use the dormitory as our base of operations.
お願いよ、生徒会長。私たちが真面目に活動してたことはあなただって知ってるでしょ。
そうです。慶風学園にとってこれほどふさわしい部活動はないと思いませんか？
Everyone was desperately pleading to her, but
その前に
Akari glared at us.
あなたたちに聞きたいことがあったの。倉庫から消えたグライダーの件よ。
Her voice dropped down a tone. That alone was enough to make us cower in fear.
何のことかしら？
Even though it couldn't have been anyone else, we had no choice but to play dumb. Akari was usually a fair person, but she wasn't that flexible. If it was clear that we had taken it, she would have taken action.
何者かが倉庫に忍び込み保管してあったグライダーを盗み出したのよ。あんな巨大なもの、一体誰が持ち去ったのかしらね。
The way she said it made it sound like she was implying she knew who had done it. She was completely right, though. Stealing the glider was a huge miscalculation on our part. We knew that it would be a big disadvantage when it came to applying for the restoration of the club, but it couldn't be avoided. Knowing that this would happen, we came to her first to negotiate. Could it be some kind of geek, like a person obsessed with airplanes? Maybe they really wanted it no matter what. Oh, Aoi. No, Aoi, just, oh. He doesn't know what he just did. Oh, no. Spoiler alert, the glider is in Oz's room, who is obsessed with airplanes. So, as I reached desperately for a suitable answer, Akari looked towards me.
あなたたちではないと？
It wasn't! No way! I answered while choking on my words. I started to feel bad as Akari's eyes, full of righteousness, shot a gaze right through me.
いいでしょう。ただし、もし不正な手段を用いていると分かったときは、一切擁護はできないので、注意してくださいね。
Yeah. Without thinking, I answered honestly, and Ageha gave me a poke in the ribs. That was like admitting to our crime.
それにしても来週には博物館に寄贈される手はずだったのにどうしてこうもいいタイミングで
As Akari said, she caught a glimpse of our expressions. It seemed like she wanted to know something specific about who leaked the information to us. Oh my god. At that moment, Matsutsugu appeared, calling out in a frivolous voice.
今日の生徒会何時からでしたっけ
16時からよ田崎くん
じゃあそれまで暇ですよねどっかでお茶でもなんだお前ら
Bonehead Matsutsugu only just realized we were here.
何やってんだ
部の復帰申請をしに来たのよ。
So, you can just get the hell out of here!
なんだよその態度俺だって生徒会のメンバーなんだぞ
Matsutsugu stuck his chest out in a patronizing kind of way. Oh yeah, he joined the student council this year as a secretary. In response to Matsutsugu, Akari just glared at him.
どうかしましたかあっかりさん
今大事な話をしていたところです例のグライダー強奪事件についてずっと不思議だったんですどうして博物館に寄贈される直前に盗まれてしまったのか犯人が一般生徒だと仮定してどうやってその情報を知り得たのか
どうしてでしょうね俺バカなんでわかんないや
He told them, didn't he? Akehe and I looked at each other. Couldn't he have given a better excuse? Akari seemed convinced by this poor attempt at deceiving her and didn't pursue it any further. For the time being, it was good that she didn't find the perpetrator who leaked the information. By the way, change the subject, but it looks like Matsutsugu had broken up with his girlfriend, who he was in a band with. According to him, the reason was because of different opinions in the music they were playing. According to Ageha, though, he got dumped. After that, he met the girl of his dreams, an older girl, Akari Kumoi. Then, in order to chase after her, he joined the student council. That's the end of that little side story.
廃部の一件については以前お話しした通りよ同情的な気分にはなるけれどどうしてやることもできないわ
Right after Amane had left without warning, the club lost its status without warning and the garage was demolished. That was all under the instruction of...
クイックロードしますよ
Oh no, don't do that. It was all under the instruction of Mr. Tobioka. Some of the students were against it, but Mr. Tobioka went ahead and pushed the demolition. The reason was that this had been promised from the beginning.
実際私も納得はしていないのよ廃部の根拠は単に望月先輩以外に部員がいなかったからというものでも実際はあなたたちがいたわそれなのに先生方の都合で廃部を決定するなんてこれは生徒会自治系の悪質な侵害行為だわ
Yeah, I don't think Akari is a bad person. She's just, you know, bureaucracy.
あの時私が会長だったならもう少し抵抗できていたものを
She spoke with frustration. She would never forgive those who had selfishly ignored the rules, even if they were teachers. So that's what happened. When Amane was alone in the Soaring Club, Akari was the one who had put pressure on her that the club couldn't continue. While doing so, though, she was the one who helped Amane to continue the club activities for this long. She was strict, but she was fair. On top of that, she was a very nice person.
じゃあ復活を認めて
Pretty
よ
much exactly as you said, Illumno. Akari, the decision to repeal its status should never have been made. We tried to make ourselves heard, but Akari shook her head.
どうして
部としての条件を満たせていないからです。まず部員数の不足。
Currently, there are only 3 members. To be a club, you needed at least 4.
次に活動内容の有効性ですが、これはまあ問題ないでしょう。
Gonna recruit Ozza, have 4 members, continue, fly, get Kotori up in the clouds, and it'll be happy ending. This is about whether our activities were suitable. There was no problem with that.
有資格者の不在。これは深刻な問題ですね。
パイロットの資格なら葵くんが持ってるわ。
それだけでは足りないでしょ。
As well as the pilot, you also needed qualifications for the equipment. Things like gliders cannot be operated without qualified personnel. Before, Amane had all the necessary qualifications, so it wasn't a problem.
最後に顧問の不在。
Mr. Yamanobe, who was the advisor throughout last year, withdrew when the Soaring Club lost its status. He was under scrutiny from Mr. Tobioka and had to deal with students like Amane. We could understand why he would quit the advisor position after dealing with so much pressure like that. He was timid, but a decent person and a good teacher.
これらの問題が解決できない以上、申請を認めるわけにはいきません。
ケチ
ケッチ。もし生徒会が認めたとしても、それでは飛岡先生らは認めてくれないでしょうね。
Basically, what she was saying was we needed to fulfill the minimum conditions to negotiate with Mr. Tobioka. The important thing is you're saying it's not entirely impossible, right? Akari nodded.
条件さえクリアできれば、我々生徒会から先生方に掛け合ってみましょう。
This was a fair trade. After all, we needed to fulfill the requirements first before negotiating. Thank you very much, Akari. We thanked Akari as we made our way out of the 4th year classroom.
グライダーはくれぐれも見つからないようにすることね。
Oh yeah, sure thing, won't be an issue. Of course! Oops.
素直な子ね。
Thank goodness she treated it as a joke.
お前らマジで盗み出すなんて思ってなかったぞ。
Well, that's where we're saving. That's gonna be
デ
a
ータを上書き
that's
した
gonna be a fun quote to come back to next week, isn't it?
嘘よ。これからよ。
All right, that was day 11. Oh man, a lot of stuff happened today. We met Ozza and Yoru and stole a glider. Oh man, this was a fun day. I'm so glad I get to play this every single week. I'll be back next week to play it some more. In the meantime, I'll be back on Tuesday to play. Do I have a game yet that I'll be playing? Nope, not yet, but I will be back Tuesday and Friday before returning to this game next Sunday. So, remember, if you want to get this game for yourselves, then go over to PlayAsia and buy it. There are not many copies left. The regular edition is completely sold out. The limited edition, there are less than 100 copies left. So, get it while you can if you want a physical edition for the Switch. And as always, if you missed any of the previous streams and want to rewatch them, all of our VODs are archived onto YouTube. So head over to East Asia Soft's YouTube. You'll be able to watch the series in order without missing anything. So, until next time, on behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.